Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chambers Health and Wellness Series. I think I've introduced myself to everybody on the call, but I'm Joe Bauman. I'm president of the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber. So on behalf of our board of directors and ambassadors, welcome. And we're looking forward to a really great program today. We're going to talk about healthy eating. And Kelly, just so you know, I discovered something this morning. When you forget to put the organic honey in your smoothie, it's not nearly as good. So, but I'm trying to honor our guest Kimberly by starting out the day with a healthy smoothie. So, before we hear from Kimberly, though, I do want to introduce Lisa Brown. Lisa is the regional radiology director for Henry Ford West Bloomfield. And Lisa also joined the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber Board of Directors in January. So she's a new board member as well. So Lisa, thank you. Thank you for hosting. Thank you to Beaumont Health, as always, for underwriting this series. We really appreciate it. And for Gail Petricolo, who's been our guiding light for this series. So Lisa, why don't you go ahead and introduce our speaker and we'll get started.
Excellent. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much. So I have the pleasure to introduce Kimberly Snodgrass, RDN. She attended Lutheran High Westland, where she graduated salutatorian. She received the Distinguished Scholar Award from Marygrove College, a full paid tuition, which is awesome, where she completed her Bachelor of Science in Human Nutrition, Foods, and graduated cum laude. Kim completed her dietetic internship at the Detroit Health Department. Her passion is working with the Detroit community where she grew up. She works at the Henry Ford Health System and has been with the system for over 13 years. She wants to make a change by going into Detroit area schools to educate children on the importance of healthy eating to improve health disparities. Kim is currently in the process of starting graduate school at the University of Michigan and also studying her certification in obesity and weight management. Kim is happily married with 3 daughters, enjoys going to church, running, and baking. So please help me welcome Kimberly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for that introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone. Once again, my name is Kim Snodgrass. I work for Henry Ford Health System, and I work with the Center for Disease and Health Promotion. So we're going to get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen with you all. Can everyone see my screen pretty good? All right, perfect. Let me minimize. There we go. Let me go back. So we already had our wonderful introduction. Thank you so much, Lisa. So some of the things we're going to go over today is, what is your body's main source of fuel? What are the common performance foods? Why is water so important? Why have carbs gotten a bad reputation? And why is even a small amount of exercise a day beneficial? And lastly, we'll talk about fitness trackers and food trackers as useful tools. So today, you guys, we're going to take it easy today. Yesterday was really bad out. So I want you guys to relax, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, and we'll dive right into our presentation. So many people want to know, what is your body's main fuel source? Of course, it's food. Food is the fuel that helps us perform our best. Without it, endurance, strength, and overall performance will be down. If you want to get the most out of your workouts and athletic capabilities, your diet should be a top priority in your fitness efforts. And I like to tell people, whatever you put in, you get out. So if you put in good food, you get out good food. If you put in poor quality food, you'll get out poor quality food. As your body puts out energy through exercise and training, you need to replenish those lost nutrients, which can be done by choosing the right foods. So let's review some of the foods that will help us better fuel our performance. Berries. Now, personally, I have berries in my oatmeal every day, about 1/4 cup of blueberries. But berries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're all very delicious. But did you know that they are rich in antioxidants, which need to be replenished after physical activity? Darker berries contain phytochemicals and other protective elements that prevent oxidative stress that occurs in your body during strenuous activities. Salmon. This oily fish is packed with lean, muscle-building protein and omega-3 fatty acids, which reduces the inflammation that can happen with continual athletic activity. It is also a natural artery cleaner, which helps to prevent heart disease, which can affect even the most active people. And I don't know about you, but I try to have a little bit of salmon every week. I have an air fryer, so I tend to put it in there. I put a little olive oil on top, a little lemon juice, a little black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and it's delicious. You can even try salmon on pasta. You can try it on salads. Some people even make salmon burgers. But try to get about 8 ounces of salmon a week. That's the recommended allowance. Beans and legumes. Vegetarians and meat eaters alike can get their fill of plant-based protein by eating beans and legumes. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, and lima beans. The varieties are endless. You can add them to a salad or cook them into a stew or chili. And I don't know about you, but chili sounds good to me with these cold Michigan winters. I especially like black bean chili. It makes me feel full. It's very delicious. I usually use black beans, ground turkey with my chili, and it makes for a delicious meal. Pasta. Not all carbs are bad. We're going to talk about that a little bit in depth in a bit. In fact, carbs are an important part of the athlete's diet. Straight carbs act as a fuel for the active person. Also, it is important to note whole grain pasta typically contains less sugar than white pasta, which can help athletes perform better. Now, my family, I don't even tell them that I use whole wheat pasta. The kids don't even know the difference. Sometimes the first time they may, but if you mix a little bit of white with the brown and then slowly try to take out the white and put the brown in there, after a while, no one noticed the difference. And it's very healthy for you, and you want to choose the healthier options of pasta when you can. Bananas. This is a low-calorie fruit. It is an excellent source of natural electrolytes, which need to be replaced after a workout or a sporting event. They're also high in potassium, which makes them the perfect post-event snack. I myself, I eat about 1/4 of a banana every day in my oatmeal. I put the rest of it in the refrigerator. It may turn brown, but who cares? I'll put it in oatmeal or I'll put it in a smoothie, so it really doesn't matter. But bananas, they're a low-calorie fruit. They are a good source of natural electrolytes. And so they're a winner for us. So we're going to put that on our grocery list when we go shopping next time. Cruciferous vegetables. Dark leafy greens such as spinach and kale, as well as broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals to boost your athletic abilities. They are also high in vitamins A, K, and B6, as well as calcium and iron, all of which protect the body against inflammation. So try to include dark leafy greens with all your meals. Some people think you can't eat vegetables for breakfast. Yes, you can. You can put spinach in an omelet. Some of my coworkers even eat salads for breakfast. It's not me, but some people do. You can put spinach or kale in your smoothies. So try to make sure you incorporate something green at each meal. You can even put Brussels sprouts in the air fryer. So I have this little trick that I do. I line my air fryer with a little bit of foil and I preheat. Then I take some frozen Brussels sprouts and I put a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and it's delicious. Get them a little crispy and it gives you that crunch. And it's a performance food. It's high in vitamins, it's high in minerals. So you won't go wrong if you choose a cruciferous vegetable. Put that on your grocery list as well. Nuts. Nuts are high in protein and healthy fats, making them a mainstay in an athlete's diet. Eating with carbs, they help level out your blood sugar and sustain the carbs over longer periods of time rather than burning them off right away. They're also easier to digest and they don't upset your stomach. So I like to get nuts in my diet every day. And what I try to get is the 100-calorie snack pack of almonds, unsalted. And when I'm feeling that need that I'm hungry first, I want to check and make sure I've had enough water. Okay, so that's first. Then after a few minutes, if the water doesn't do the trick and I say, oh, okay, I'm really hungry, then I'll reach for some nuts. And sometimes I'll pair it with a handful of raisins. And so it's a really good treat. And they're healthy for me. So it's a win-win. Milk. Milk is loaded with carbs and protein, which makes it a great post-workout drink for muscle recovery. And if you have chocolate milk, the caffeine found in chocolate dilates the blood vessels, helping them to relax after a workout. So milk is a winner. And my kids love chocolate milk. So feel free to eat that. It has protein, it has carbs, and it's a good post-workout drink for muscle recovery. So that's important to note. And most people do like milk. I know I love it. Hydrating foods. Radishes, watermelon, bell peppers. Is anyone getting hungry yet? I am. Spinach, celery, dates, and oranges are just a handful of refreshing foods you can eat to replenish lost fluids. If you're tired of downing water bottles, not that you shouldn't, opt for one of these snacks to feel refreshed after exercising. And I know personally, some people desire a crunch. We don't want to reach for chips. That's not the best option for us. So sometimes I'll cut up some bell peppers, I'll take some celery and radishes, and it gives me sometimes that crunch that I desire without feeling bad about eating a bag of chips. Not that you can't ever have chips, because everything in moderation, but I'm one of those who I really try to be mindful when I'm eating. So I think about what I'm going to put in my body before I eat it. So I try to incorporate fruits, vegetables, water, things that I know that are going to fuel my performance and help me feel good. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are rich in vitamins A and C, both antioxidants that remove free radicals from your body. They lower blood pressure, which is important for athletes and their heart health when participating in sports. They're high in vitamin and mineral content, and they contain levels of potassium, iron, manganese, and copper athletes need for healthy muscles. Now, personally, I eat a sweet potato every day. They're so good. They help curb my sweet tooth. And contrary to popular belief, dietitians do like to eat, and we do like sweets, but everything in moderation. So typically, I'll get a sweet potato, I'll rinse it under water, and then I'll pierce it with a fork, wrap it in foil, and bake it in the oven until it's nice enough to eat, soft. And then I'll put nutmeg and cinnamon on top. I don't put any additional sugar. It's not needed because it's naturally sweet. And so they're a winner. They're rich in vitamins A and C, and they're a performance food. So with sweet potatoes, they're a winner. So try it. You'll enjoy it. Oatmeal. Oatmeal is an excellent source of an energy carb for athletes, and it's high in fiber, helping you feel fuller longer. It's 100% whole grain, helping to lower your risk of heart disease, but be sure to choose steel-cut oats or old-fashioned oats as opposed to instant oats. Now, think about it. I have oatmeal every day, and you want to know why? It helps me feel fuller longer. I'm a runner, and so oatmeal is typically my breakfast of choice. I do old-fashioned oats, probably about 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 cup of water, so I cook that. Then I put in a teaspoon or about 1/2 teaspoon of ground flax seeds, which is good for my heart, 1/2 teaspoon of chia seeds, which helps speed my metabolism, 1/4 cup of blueberries, or any berry you choose, and about 1/4 of a banana. And that's my breakfast. And I tell you, I have energy, I feel good, and I know I put something good into my body. Whey protein. Whey protein contains the essential amino acids. Quickly absorbed by the body, it lacks fat and cholesterol, which makes it an ideal formula for athletes to consume. Whey contains levels of protein and amino acids necessary to rebuild muscles and protects against muscle breakdown. Now think about it. You hear people talk about making smoothies every day, especially people who may be trying to lose weight. You always hear them adding a scoop or two of whey protein. And I know at a time after I had my children, that I will use smoothies for weight loss purposes. And so always put in whey protein, something green like spinach, a berry, and a little bit of milk. And it kept me full, it kept me feeling good, and it's a performance food. So it's a win-win for us. Olive oil, flaxseed, and coconut oils. The monounsaturated fats found in olive oil have anti-inflammatory properties, which athletes need for putting so much stress on their bodies. Flaxseed oil contains omega-3s, which is also anti-inflammatory and helps to recover quickly from the bumps and the bruises. It also contains fiber and protein. And then coconut oil has MCTs, which help with fat metabolism. So try to incorporate olive oil, flaxseed oil, and coconut oil into your diet. I have all those oils in my kitchen. I especially love olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I put that on vegetables. I put that on fish. Coconut oil is great. So I use all of these. So I hope everyone's making a grocery list. So I'm giving you some good foods to put on there. Cherries. Cherries are antioxidant-filled fruit. Cherries aid in preventing muscle pain after running. They reduce inflammation, which is what causes striking pain. Many athletes consume cherries as another way to lower exercise-based muscle damage, which can help reduce soreness. So personally, I either get fresh or frozen cherries, and I like to put that into my Greek yogurt. I typically get the non-fat Greek yogurt, like the cup, 5.3 ounces. I take 1/4 of a cup of cherries, a 1/2 teaspoon of flaxseed ground, that's good for my heart, as I mentioned before, a 1/2 teaspoon of chia seeds, which helps feed my metabolism. And it's a really, really good snack. And then sometimes if you have that sweet tooth, instead of reaching for candy or cake or donuts, get that yogurt, put some cherries in there, and you're getting that performance food. So do yourself a favor, get some cherries. Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about why water is so important. And I always, always, always have a water bottle with me. Good hydration means getting the right amount of water before, during, and after exercise. Water regulates your body temperature and lubricates your joints. It helps transport nutrients to give you energy and keep you healthy. If you're not hydrated, your body can't perform at its highest level. And that's important. You always want to have water. I like to tell people who come into the clinic, you know, sometimes you think you're hungry when really you're thirsty. And enough of us, we don't get water in our diet. People drink coffee, they drink pop, they drink juice. And, you know, I'm not going to take your favorite beverages away, everything in moderation. But I like to tell people, try to drink your water first before you get any other beverage, because it'll help you feel hydrated. And, you know, I found that drinking the right amount of water helps my skin, it helps my hair, it helps everything. It helps fuel your performance. So definitely make sure you're drinking enough water. And we're going to talk about how much water you need a day. What happens without water? If you don't drink enough water, you dehydrate. Dehydration can lead to a decrease in physical activity performance. And then what are the signs of dehydration? Thirst, chills, clammy skin, elevated heart rate, nausea, headache, dizziness, shortness of breath, or dry mouth. All of those are horrible symptoms. So definitely just try to make sure you drink enough water each day. What can dehydration lead to? Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, muscle cramping or fatigue, and breakdown of skeletal muscle. So people ask, how much water should I drink? The exact amount of water that you need each day vary from individual to individual based on certain factors like gender or the intensity of exercise. But a rule of thumb is you take your weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you divide that by 2 and you get 75. And you just stick ounces there. So 150 pounds, divide that by 2, you get 75. So you'll need 75 ounces of water a day. And what I like to do is measure out how much water I need in a day. So I need about 4 16.9 ounce water bottles. And if you're trying to lose weight, it's good to drink water before you eat, not after. So I try to drink a bottle before breakfast, 1 before lunch, 1 before dinner, and 1 before a snack. What does water do for you? Water assists in the regulation of internal body temperature. It protects and cushions vital organs and it aids the digestion system. Did you also know that 60% of your total body weight is water and 75% of your muscles is water? So I'm trying to tell you that water is the key. It is so important, especially when you're working out. How can you prevent dehydration? Don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst is an early sign of dehydration. And if you wait until you're thirsty, you've already began to dehydrate. Drink water before, during, and after exercise, and dress for the environment. So I found that in the warmer months, you definitely want to dress properly. You want to wear shorts or socks and a lightweight t-shirt, and try to exercise either early in the morning or later in the evening so that, it's not too hot. And in the winter months, you want to dress in layers so that as you start to sweat, you can take those off. We're going to switch gears again, and we're going to talk about why have carbs gotten a bad reputation. So over the years, carbs have gotten a bad reputation. Certain low-carb diets promote easy, rapid weight loss that can be very attractive to someone trying to lose weight. By restricting the amount of carbs that you eat, these diets claim that you can turn your body into a fat burning machine. So that's not good. Carbs are your main fuel source. Proteins are building blocks, and fat are not building blocks, and they're not carbs. So you need protein, fat, and carbs, but your main source for fuel is your carbohydrates. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but just keep in mind, moderation is the key. That's what they always taught us in school. I don't like diets that cut out entire food groups. You need all the food groups. Just keep that in mind. What does my body use for fuel if I'm not getting enough carbs? If you're not getting enough carbs in your diet, then your body must use fat and protein for energy. This is why the carb-restricted diets claim they are great for weight loss. However, neither protein nor fat is an efficient source of energy. So you must get carbs. You want to get good carbs. Which carbs should I eat? Skip the fruit juice and go straight for the fruit. If you're trying to fuel your performance, if you're trying to lose weight or keep weight off, you don't want to down a lot of juice. You want to reach for an apple instead of apple juice. You want to reach for an orange instead of orange juice. Because if you look at it, apple has a peel, that's a fiber, and fiber helps you feel fuller longer. So do yourself a favor. Instead of drinking apple juice, eat the apple. It's better for you. And eat a variety of fruits and vegetables daily. Limit the serving of refined sugars such as high fructose corn syrup, agave, white and brown sugars. These are often found in cakes, cookies, and donuts. These lack nutrients and are high in calories. So it's not that you can't have an occasional cookie or a donut, but everything in moderation. Like I like to go to Tim Hortons, but instead of getting a whole donut, which is typically like 200 or more calories, I'll get 2 Timbits, which will range me between 90 and 100 calories. So I like to say in life, moderation is the key. It's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. But being a dietitian, I'm always cognizant of what I eat. I'm mindful. So try to always think about your food before you eat it. The bottom line, carbs are a major source of fuel and nutrients for your body. They should be a part of a healthy diet, even when the goal is to lose weight. When adding carbs, pay attention to your portion size, choose whole fruits, and make it a whole grain where you can. So the next subject we're going to talk about is why is even a small amount of exercise a day beneficial? In another recent study of the benefits of small doses of physical activity, researchers at the University of Utah School of Medicine found that people who got up and moved around for at least 2 minutes for every hour of sitting had a 33% lower risk of dying. Now think about that. That in and of itself should make you want to stand up for a minute. 2 minutes for every hour sitting, you lower your risk of dying by 33%. That's saying so much. And I tell you, when I'm at work, I have a desk job, but when I'm able to get up and walk around and stretch my legs, I try to do that because I know I'm doing something healthy for me. You don't have to be a fitness fanatic to enjoy the benefits of exercise. So we're not Michael Phelps or LeBron James. We're not professional athletes, but we do want to reap those benefits of exercise. So research shows that even modest amounts of exercise can make a difference. In fact, you can meaningfully benefit from 30 minutes of moderate activity per day, 5 days a week. Now, I only work outside of the home 2 days a week. My work days are typically Tuesdays and Fridays. All the other days I'm at home. I have 3 girls, a husband who's super busy. So my thing I do for myself for self-care is I work out on my elliptical for 15 minutes, 5 days a week. So on my non-work days. Now, when it's nice outside, I like to run. I like to be in the nature. I like to see the trees. I like to hear the birds. I like to look up at the sky and thank God for another day. I'm in my zone when I'm outside, but the weather doesn't permit me to run. When I see people outside running in the cold weather, I applaud. Sometimes I blow my horn and put a thumbs up. But there's different ways of getting exercise in. So just try to incorporate a little bit into your day and you'll be thankful. Thank me later. The benefits of exercise: enhanced mood. As quickly as 5 minutes into a physical activity, individuals can notice an enhancement in their mood. And research shows that exercise can help alleviate mild to moderate long-term depression. Now think about that. Exercise can enhance our mood even as quick as 5 minutes into the activity. And it can help alleviate mild to moderate long-term depression. Now, if I can exercise and better my mood and ward off depression, that is what I typically would choose to do. Exercise is a win-win. Exercise reduces stress. Exercise can help relieve stress and increase relaxation. Regular exercise has been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety. It boosts your mood. It gives you more restful sleep. It boosts your metabolism. So when I talk about going for the win, exercise should always be on your plate. When we talk about weight loss, people come to me for weight loss a lot. 80% of it is what you eat. 20% is exercise, unless you're a professional athlete. I'm not 8 hours, 10 hours in the gym, but you want to have a proper diet and you want to have exercise. You can't have one without the other. Exercise in and of itself has so many benefits that you have to try to incorporate a little bit in each day. So I said, integrate exercise into your life. Develop an exercise routine and schedule something that's realistic for you. If you have a regular lunch hour, try walking or using your home gym equipment during the break. Avoid exercise though right before you go to sleep because sometimes it gets you riled up. But personally, when I'm at home with my 2-year-old and trying to show her her ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, I'll have coloring sheets. I'll put on YouTube to sing her the ABC song. And I'll have my Fitbit on and I'll be moving from side to side because while I'm educating, I also want to exercise. You know, women, we're multitaskers. So if I can get a few steps in while trying to teach my little 2-year-old, then that is definitely what I try to do. You should try it too. We're going to switch gears one more last time. We're going to talk about food trackers and fitness trackers. Personally, I use my Fitbit daily, and my goal is to get about 10,000 steps a day. I use this as a motivation to get up and move and to see my step numbers go up. And then I also use my Fitness Pal, the free version. I use it daily to track my calories, my carbs, my protein, and my fat. Now, you don't have to invest in a Fitbit. Some phones have a step tracker. So you want to aim for 10,000 steps. I can even get 20,000 or more steps a day. And I tell you, when I finally lay down and go to sleep, I know that I got 20,000 steps, but 10,000 is typically a good day. And then so far as my Fitness Pal, you want to look at it. How many calories did I consume a day? And the dietitian can help you figure out how many calories you need a day. How many carbs did I consume? How much protein? How much fat? Did I stay within my sodium restriction? Did I get the right amount of vitamins today? So I really, really like my Fitness Pal, but opt for the free version. A fitness tracker lets you watch and record your heart rate daily, your calories that you burned that day, how many steps you got. And self-tracking allows you to stick to a healthier diet, exercise more, and sleep better. Regular use of fitness trackers boosts your daily workouts and makes them achievable. Holds you accountable too, but you got to use it. Tracking your food intake will give you insight into many aspects of your eating habits. The more specific and accurate you are with reporting, the more accurate your information will be. You may begin to see that you're missing entire food groups like vegetables or dairy. And I try to tell people, use measuring cups, use measuring spoons. I know that personally, when I was trying to lose weight after I had my second and third daughter, I measured out a teaspoon, I measured out a tablespoon, I measured out a half a cup. And some people would laugh at me, but it worked. Sometimes you say, oh, I can eyeball how much a teaspoon is, and then you put too much sugar into something or too much cream into your coffee. So instead of trying to eyeball it, measure it. Thank me later. Do not forget to track all those little extras. Yeah, you heard me, the extras, like coffee, cream, and sugar, condiments, candies from your candy stash, which we all have in certain beverages. You may be shocked to find out that many calories are in these forgotten treats, as little as 100 extra calories to equal to 10 extra pounds per year. That's a lot. These are also easy items to cut out or substitute with healthier options. So when we talk about extras, instead of mayo, if I go to Subway, I get mustard. Instead of those flavor coffee creams, unless they're sugar-free, I try to just get plain coffee cream, and I measure that. My candy stash personally has dark chocolate because it's better for you. And my beverage of choice is always water. I like coffee, but I limit it because I know I need to get my water in for the day. Tracking your food intake will allow you to know that you're doing what's good already. Continue with these habits so that you don't have to start from scratch. Building on what you are currently doing and taking small steps to improve your eating habits will help you be more successful. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see. Oh, I didn't want to stop the video, guys. Let's see here.
We can still hear you.
You can still hear me? How do I stop sharing? Does anyone know?
Yeah, you go to the share screen.
There we go. All right. So let me minimize this real quick. There was one more thing I wanted to say. But just to wrap up, I said a lot. It's a lot of information. But basically, you want to focus on healthy carbs. You want to focus on your protein. You want to focus on your fiber. And then just remember, if I put good food in, I'll get good results. So you want to avoid the fast food. You want to avoid the convenience stuff. Balance is the key. Moderation is the key. And so you just want to mix things up. I know that sometimes I'm a stress eater, and you have to watch what triggers you. You got to make sure that you keep those in check. So if there's certain stressors that you have, try to make sure that you're cognizant of that. Think before you eat and find things that you can do to help you relax, like a bubble bath, classical music. Sometimes it's window shopping, meditation, or chatting with a friend. But just keep in mind, you always want to give yourself a little grace, a little mercy, and say, if I fall down today, I can get up and I can try again. So I hope that information helped. It was very fun sharing it with you guys. And as you can see, my contact information is on the screen. It's 313-874-3095. That's my office number. And you see my email address. And so I guess we're going to open up the floor to questions and comments.
Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for that excellent presentation. Really appreciate it. We do have quite a few questions in the chat space, so I'm just going to start reading them off to you, and hopefully you'll be able to address each of them.
Perfect.
Last in, first out. I was curious about this as well, so I'm going to start with this question, and that is, could you comment on the use of supplements, fish oil, multivitamins, as blah blah, as part of a healthy diet? I mean, supplements has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. You can't escape them online. I mean, there's television, radio. Nutritionist, what role do you see supplements playing in an average person's health?
Well, that's a really good question. We're always taught in school. I'm going to tell you what they teach us in school first, that you want to get all your vitamins and minerals in via your food. If you can get it in with your food, then do that. But most people can't. You're active, you're on the go. So there is a place for supplements. I personally take fish oil. I take flaxseed oil. Those are good for my heart health. I take a multivitamin because some days I don't get all the fruits and vegetables I need. You just always want to make sure there's no interactions with any medications. You want to make sure that you review that with your doctor when you go to your annual, just to make sure they're aware of all that, because everything with supplements aren't regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. So you just want to be careful, but there is a place for supplements. But I would like to say, if at all costs, try to eat the food. first before you supplement. But supplements do have their place, so I'm not totally against them.
Okay. So the next question is, do you have any tips for those who suffer food allergies like gluten and dairy?
Yeah, see your dietitian, that's for sure. But you know what? For people who have food allergies, it's easier now. It's easier to go to Myers and find things free out, or people with celiac disease, if you will, or there's dairy alternatives. So my thing is always try to make sure you don't just Google stuff. You want to set up to see a registered dietitian because you have allergies, but I also need to know if you're diabetic. I need to know if you're hypertensive. I need to know certain things. So I try not to just put one person into a box. I like to look at them as a whole. But for people who have a dairy allergy, you can have almond milk, you can have soy milk, you can even have oat milk rather. And then for people who have a gluten sensitivity, I have specific diets for that. And, so make sure you see your dietitian first and don't always trust Google. Those are the two things I like to share.
Great. I'm actually going to combine two questions into one.
Sure.
The first part of it is, how much does cooking method play in getting the most benefit from your food sources? And then related to that, you mentioned using an air fryer for salmon. What else do you cook in it?
Oh, yeah. So you do have to be careful with cooking your vegetables. You don't want to cook them to the point that you lose all the nutrients. So you said don't cook them on like the highest heat. You can't cook away some of it. I like to say I live in the real world. If you cook away some of it, you get some of it too. So I'd rather for you to cook and eat them than to eat something that's not healthy for you, period. So you do have to be aware of the food temps. And the second part of the question, what was it about the air fryer?
What other dishes do you like to prepare in the air fryer?
Oh, you can do wingdings in the air fryer. You can do vegetables in the air fryer. You can even do desserts in there. I haven't tried it yet because I'm a baker. I like the oven. But the air fryer comes with a little booklet. So it has little recipes on there. But the only thing I typically cook is salmon, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. I have a really good asparagus recipe. I take frozen asparagus spears. I put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, a little black pepper, and I put a little Parmesan cheese. I know. But put that in there and kids will forget about chips. So you're talking about a little crisp on your asparagus. It's delicious. So you try to get your kids to love vegetables. You can put carrots in there. Carrots are naturally sweet. So it's endless. You can put almost anything in there.
Thank you. The next question is, what are your thoughts on a vegan diet?
Love it. So my sister is trying to be vegan and I'm for it. I mean, it's restrictive, but it's one of the healthiest diets out there. And when you think about it, if a person who's trying to be healthy, who's trying to lose weight, if they turn to a vegan diet, I've seen them drop a ton of weight. I've seen their blood pressure come down, their cholesterol come down, their blood sugars come down. So I'm for it. Some people can't go as strict as a vegan. Some people are vegetarian. Some people are pescatarian. I eat more like a pescatarian, which is a vegetarian who enjoys fish and seafood. So you have to find what diet works for you. And, even though I'm a dietitian, I don't like the word diet. I like to say lifestyle change. You want to figure out what you can do for life, not just something you can do to drop 10 or 15 pounds, because then what are you going to do to keep it off? You have to find out what diet works for you. But to answer your question, the vegan diet is a wonderful diet and you'll be very healthy for it.
Great. The next question is says, I love your passion for helping with food insecurity in Detroit. What kind of programs does Henry Ford Health System offer?
Well, Henry Ford Health System offers a lot of programs. There's a program called Generation with Promise that's under Barbara Bloom. And she sends dietitians into Detroit area schools to educate inner city kids on proper diet and nutrition. They do cooking demos and they do presentations. So that's something that I'm interested in doing. Right now, I'm in the clinic, so I counsel people inside the clinic. But we do send dietitians into Detroit area schools to teach inner city kids about how to eat. And that's important. It starts with the youth. Because if I can catch the youth, kids will go home and say, Mom, the dietitian said fries aren't the best option for me. So kids will tell you. And so I'm actually working with the Michigan Dietetic Association. We have a subgroup for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm going to be the event chair. And I'm actually through them going to start volunteering going into the Detroit area schools once, COVID restrictions kind of lift.
So I have a question, and it's about, we hear a lot about it's important to have a routine,
Mm-hmm.
stick with that routine, whether it's the times of day that you eat, your
Mhm.
exercise routine,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not easy to do
No.
a year into a global pandemic,
True.
where all of our lives have been disrupted and we've been forced to give up our routine. And
Right.
working from home, as I'm sitting here speaking with you, I'm looking at my refrigerator, which is 10 feet away.
Uh-oh.
The place that I used to work out at is several miles away, and sometimes I feel comfortable being there depending on number of people are there. Sometimes I don't.
Okay.
So my exercise routine has also been disrupted.
Okay.
What practical advice do you give your clients in overcoming these really considerable obstacles to stay on track?
Oh, wow. That was a power-packed question. I love it. You know,
I'm
I
asking
like,
for a friend.
say that again?
I'm asking for a friend.
No, that's good. I like to say, do you guys remember those whiteboards in school or the ones you could put, right on and erase it like a dry eraser? I like to say, get a vision board and write stuff down. I want to lose 5 pounds in 5 months. I want to include one more vegetable in my diet each week. I want to drink more water because sometimes when you physically see something, it's in your face, so you can't avoid it. So I like to write down what my goals are. I like to set attainable goals. Some people say, oh, I want to lose, 3 pounds in 1 week. Okay, are you going to starve yourself? Like, really? You want to lose about a half a pound to a pound a week. I know that after my first daughter, I had no weight to lose. I was young. After my second daughter, I had to lose 35 pounds. And after my third daughter, I had to lose 65 pounds because I was stress eating. Crazy, right? So I had to set a goal. I want to fit back in my clothes. What does that look like for me? What am I going to do? So I started drinking more water. I pray a lot. So I asked God for help. It works. And I was just like, I'm not going to care if people laugh at me. Like, I would literally take measuring cups to events that people had at their house, and I measure stuff, and they're like, are you crazy? Yeah, a little bit, because I want to be healthy. So I would say set small goals. Don't bring junk into the house. If Doritos are your trigger, if M&Ms are your trigger, you're not going to stock your cabinet with things that you're going to reach for that are bad for you. I like to snack on kale chips. Those are really good. My husband loves those, and he's a big junk food eater. So I threw them up there thinking like, okay, will he look and see if they're green and not eat them? He opened them up and he loved them. So I like to say, what is an alternative for a crunch? Some people say, I don't like vegetables. Okay, have you tried baked chips? Have you tried skinny popcorn? There's always a healthier way of having something. Instead of reaching for, the Milky Way or the Reese cup or something like that. I mean, we all have those from time to time. But try to get a little small piece of dark chocolate that's high in the cacao percentage. The higher, the better, because the higher percentage means it's less sugar and it's more cacao. So try to find tricks of the trade. And I like to say, eat your biggest meals in the daytime, like breakfast or lunch. Don't eat a heavy dinner. Older dietitians said, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper, meaning breakfast should be your biggest meal. And typically Americans, we eat in the reverse. And that's why a lot of people are walking around overweight. So dinner time, I'm not going to have a 12-ounce steak and 2 baked potatoes, and unless it's like your birthday or a holiday or anniversary, okay, let's live life that day. But typically my dinner is tuna with the lettuce wrap and half of a sweet potato, a small piece of dark chocolate, and water. And don't eat 2 to 3 hours before bed, because you're not going to burn those calories. You're not going to eat that Whopper and then go run 3 miles. Who does that? Not anyone I know. So at night, if you're hungry, you have to reach for some vegetables. Vegetables have to be a friend of yours. And a lot of us didn't grow up eating vegetables. We grew up eating chips or french fries. I know I did. My mom was a single mom. She did her best to provide for us. So I didn't grow up eating the healthiest diet. I learned how to eat healthy going to school. And so I try to teach that to my kids. Oh, you're hungry? Go grab some carrots. And they'll be like, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, kitchen's closed. So my kitchen typically closes at 7 p.m. After that, it's all veggies, all water. And brush your teeth early. Because if you brush your teeth early, you're less apt of eating something full of sugar, because who wants to brush their teeth again after they've done it? But to speak to the pandemic, I had a patient who lost 20 pounds over the pandemic time. Not a lot of people have done that. He was very concerned that his blood sugars were super high. His doctor was going to place him on medication, but he said, try seeing a dietitian. Let's try losing some weight first. And when I tell you, like, he was on it, like, it brought me tears almost, because I love to see people succeed. Like, my biggest joy in life is seeing people's blood sugars come down, their cholesterol come down, their blood pressure come down. And diet is the key. If we worked on prevention rather than trying to treat the problem, we could save the healthcare system so much money. So much of it starts at home with what we eat. It's as simple as sometimes what we put in our mouth. It's the choices we make. And so we kind of have to retrain our mind. And I'll honestly tell you that sometimes I'll see my husband with a bag of Doritos, and I will tell myself, you don't want those Doritos. They look good, but you're not even hungry. Sometimes you eat out of boredom, or there's nothing else to do. So I like to say, eat my food. And if I'm still like, oh, I want another cup of spaghetti because my spaghetti is really good, I'll get up and start folding clothes, or I'll vacuum. And then before I know it, my triggers have, you weren't even hungry. You just eating out of boredom. So try not to eat out of boredom. So I hope that answers your question in a nutshell.
Yes, thank you. So the next question is about another trend I'm sure all of us have heard a lot about in the last year or so,
Sure.
and that is on intermittent fasting.
Yes. Yes. You mean, is it good, or can people use that for weight loss? I've had some patients do really good with intermittent fasting. Like, it's okay. I'm not against it, eating from this time to that time, because I try to kind of stick to that myself. Like, I'll eat between this hour and that hour and not after that. The only problem that you sometimes have for that are people with blood sugar problems. If they super restrict and cut off their eating times too soon, their blood sugars can drop, so we don't want that. So we want to make sure diabetics aren't doing that, or people who have blood sugar problems. But I'm not against it. And I have seen people do really good with intermittent fasting. Again, you have to find the lifestyle change or diet, if you will, that works for you. And for different people, different things, different strokes for different folks. For me, it's just really limiting the amounts of food. I like to say, I can go to Tim Hortons. I used to get a large coffee with a donut. I don't do that anymore. I get a small coffee with 2 Timbits, and I'll enjoy that. I've gotten what I want, but in a smaller moderation. You don't want to have a life that's devoid of all your pleasures of food, right? But you want to be able to say, have a little bit and be done. Because if you overeat, that's when you start to put the weight on.
So the next question is, do you have any concerns, or are there any concerns with the amount of soy milk women have a day? How much they drink a day?
With soy milk? No. Who is the person there that has the more specific question? I don't know.
Lisa, your colleague.
So I had just heard years ago that that there was a concern with the amount of soy milk that women had. I don't know if it was like 10 years ago or so, or maybe less, but I have heard that before. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that, or if that's even an issue.
I haven't heard that as an issue at all. I know that I've heard people drinking soy milk when they're trying to ward off those hot flashes with menopause and such. I haven't heard of a cap on soy milk, but I could write that down and email you back. I haven't heard of any negative effects of drinking additional soy milk or too much soy milk.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next question relates to eating organic.
Sure.
Do you feel that we should be eating organic produce? And if so, where can you find quality organic food that is reasonably priced and isn't going to cost you your house payment?
That's a good question. So I do like to eat organic. I don't like a lot of junk on my stuff, pesticides and all those chemicals. I don't like any of that stuff. Everybody can't eat organic. You will spend more money. When I get my organic stuff, I like to go to Kroger's or anywhere that's going to offer me digital coupons, fuel points, and somewhere that I feel like, I'll spend so much money at Kroger and they'll send me a coupon of $20 off your next bill. So try to get at a grocery store that's going to offer you bonus bucks if you shop there. But Kroger's is pretty reasonable. You have your Kroger card that you can use. Most people have one. And I gain points. But to be honest with you, it's hard to get cheap organic stuff. I haven't found it. I like to say your health is your greatest wealth. That is one of the things, that's a Henry Ford statement. It's down at Main Campus. Your health is your greatest wealth. You can't put a price tag on there. And I tell you, if you eat organic now, you probably won't have health problems 5 or 10 years down the line. So really, you're saving in the long run.
Well, we have a wealth advisor on our call this morning, Danielle. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I was going to say there's the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So if you're going to choose which foods to eat organic, I know earlier Kimberly suggested berries. That would be one to try and go to the organic, because the sprays that are on them are not so great for our health. But I just threw out there that I love Aldi. I live right near an Aldi, so I try to hit that one up as fast as earlier before going to another grocery store. And then I am just totally hooked on the delivery system of Imperfect Foods, because they rescue food that would normally not, either it was over ordered or and I've never had a problem. And if you do ever have something that comes in that just didn't have the shelf life or something, they totally refund you immediately. You just have to tell them. But I absolutely love it. I get about $100 box every week delivered right on my front door.
Wow. I know that's a new system too. I saw the commercial for it. I haven't tried it. And you're totally right about Aldi with organic. You can find stuff there. It's just that I'm a busy mom. And so I don't know if Aldi's has that click and shop. I like click and shop. I buy all my food online. I pull up to Kroger's, I call it when I'm outside, I pop my trunk, they throw them in there and I drive away. Like, I love it. And I don't know if Aldi's has that, but I try to do stuff easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know how it is. But thanks for the information. That was helpful, Danielle. I agree. My berries are organic. I spend a little extra, but I feel like I'm investing in my health. There was a time for me where I had high cholesterol. I had high blood pressure. My A1C, though I wasn't diabetic, it was higher than what I wanted it to be. And my doctor looked at me after I gained weight from my last child, and they were like, either you're going to lose it or you're going to go on some medication. It's like, take your pick. And my pick was, let's try it with diet. I mean, I'm not above medication. If you have to take it, of course. But if I can ward off taking medication just by putting down my fork, drinking a little bit more water and moving a little bit, then that's what I want to choose to try for myself first. And I think most people would say the same thing. I think sometimes that you need an accountability partner, someone that you can call and say, hey, I'm feeling kind of weak today. Can you encourage me? Or, hey, can you come and take a walk with me? Of course, you have to have a mask on and distance or whatnot. But hey, can you come take a walk with me? I just really need to get out the house, or, that kind of thing. Have somebody that you can reach out to. For me, it's my sister. We keep each other accountable. That's the one who's trying the vegan diet, and she's lost some weight, which is really good. And, don't beat yourself up. Like I said, some days I don't eat the best. I try, but like yesterday was stressful. Like, it was bad outside. It took me an hour to drive to the clinic that typically takes me 15 minutes. And when I tell you I ate a little bit yesterday, yeah, dietitians do that sometimes. But today I'm back on it. I'm drinking my water. It's a new day. The roads are clear. So if you fall down one day, don't stay down. Like, get back up and keep fighting, because you're worth that fight. Women, sometimes we put ourselves last. I got to do this for my husband. I got to do this for my kids. I got to do this for my neighbor. You have to remember that you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. So, because if you go down, then the ship goes down, right? So remember, are my kids getting enough vegetables? Are you getting enough vegetables? And try to be one of those moms who stick to cooking one healthy meal. Don't cook 2 and 3 meals. I mean, I've gotten a rut sometimes with my 2-year-old, 7-year-old, and 13-year-old and husband. I don't want that. I don't want that. Wait a minute. We're going to all eat this salad and we're going to be happy. And that's how you teach kids, eat healthy, and make it fun. Sometimes you have to make a smiley face with the plate. So you can take like cherry tomatoes and make that the eyes, and, take the little petite carrots and make a mouth, and put a little cucumber in for the nose. And, oh, mommy made a happy face with her salad. I made a happy face with my salad. And guess what? Now we're all happy. We're not just happy, but we're healthy. So try to make it fun. Try not to make it too much of a job, and try not to stress too much. What you put in is what you get out. So if you have to spend a few extra bucks, spend a few extra bucks if you have it. If you can't do organic, then you can't. But just make sure you're rinsing those fruits and vegetables properly. I'd rather for you to eat just regular fruits and vegetables than not eat them at all. So, do yourself a favor, try the fruit markets, like Randazzo's. You can typically get good deals there. And if you get home and the stuff isn't good, I've taken it back and say, hey, this isn't good. I need a refund, or I need, something else. And they'll work with you. They'll do it. Build that rapport at your fruit market. And, frozen is good. Fresh is best. Frozen is second. And, if you're going to get canned foods, you want the ones with no added salt, no added sugar. Those are good to have in case of hard times like the pandemic. You need canned foods in the basement with water and all that other stuff. So when I get my green beans, I get it with no added salt. Half a cup is only 15 milligrams of sodium. It's good for me. I got a vegetable. It's a win-win.
So Kimberly, I'm assuming that you believe that everyone should have a dietitian as part of their healthcare team. Are the majority of your clients referred by their primary physician, or how does that exactly work?
Well, we use a system called Epic, which, I know Beaumont uses, Henry Ford uses, all the big health systems use it. And the physicians do. They put in a referral through Epic, and I get the patient on my list. And most insurances will cover for a dietitian. You get 1 initial visit and 2 follow-ups. That's typically covered by insurances. Some patients pay out of pocket if their insurance doesn't cover it, because they feel like they're investing in their health. So it's as easy as making a referral from your doctor, or calling that number that's up on the screen, the 874-3095. The secretaries will ask you about your insurance. So check and make sure a dietitian consult is covered, and you kind of go from there. So you could call, or your doctor could do it.
And what would that initial consult look like?
It's an hour, so it's pretty long. So we're going to actually go through some paperwork. I need to know what you typically eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you exercise? Who does your grocery shopping and cooking? What are any recent health diagnoses? What are any challenges that you face? And what are your goals? So you have to fill out a form, either prior to that we put in my chart, or you could do it in the office. I weigh you, I take your height. And first, I really sit down and talk to the person. What are their goals? I look at all their laboratory work. I look at their blood pressure. I look at their cholesterol. I look at their glucose, their A1C if it's in there, and all the other things. And so I look at them as a whole, because if you have high blood pressure, we're going to address that. If you have high blood sugars, we're going to address that. If you have high cholesterol, we're definitely going to address that, in your weight. So I like to say all of those are like cousins. They run together. So if you have this one, that one might be around the corner. So, we take that hour, sometimes a little bit over. If I don't have anyone scheduled right behind me, I'll give you more than an hour. And then I do follow-ups. You'll get 2 follow-ups afterwards. And then I even email people. Like if it's close to their follow-up, but they have a question, they email me, I answer it back. So, and they all really enjoy coming in. I've had some really good successes with patients coming in to see me, because unlike our doctors who sometimes they rush, I don't rush through a patient. I really sit down and take my time and hear them out. Because when people come into your clinic, they don't come in just for the fun of it. They come in for help. So I like to look at them. They're not a number, they're a person. So that's how I view it.
Well, we've come to the end of our time. So Kimberly, thank you so much for presenting today. I did want to mention, as with this entire series, so we are building a resource library through our YouTube channel. And so if you know somebody in your sphere of influence that would benefit from this morning's program, it will be up on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. So you can share it with friends and colleagues. And then also what we'll typically do several days after is we send a link to our entire membership, because we feel that these are really important conversations to have. And we know people are very busy and they might not be able to join us live, but we still want to disseminate the information. And I think that's where the real value of it is. So Kimberly, again, thank you so much. Thanks to Henry Ford West Bloomfield for hosting today's session. And thank you to Beaumont Health for being our underwriting sponsor. I hope you got some great information. I know I did. And we will see you next week for the fourth and final installment. So thank you all and have a great day.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
This is a great series. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Kim. Thank you.
Bye.